Hello and welcome to episode 71 of Mouses Makes. Today I am wearing Vincast by Barocco, which I knit back in the summer in Stylecraft Linen Drape, and it then turned out to be far too heavy and warm to wear as a summer top, so it's now become a kind of a mid-season top. I liked the pattern, I enjoyed knitting it. I did not like the yarn very much, I have to be honest. I've kept some, I had several colours, and I've kept some to make a blanket. The rest I gave away. There'll be no more garments out of this. It fit quite nicely when I finished it, and now it has stretched, which is fine. I don't mind having it as sort of an oversized. I've got it over a vest today, it's fine, but yeah, not doing that anymore. Right, now I've got the proper podcastery thing out the way while I remembered. I'm going to go straight. Can I just warn you, I am sitting in chaos. I've been knitting. No, I haven't. Well, I have. What I'm trying to say is I've been sewing and I've wrecked the place. I've completely wrecked the place. I've got stuff everywhere. Everything is out of place. I've got fabric out. I've got to finish today and tidy up because I can't sit in this chaos. This room, sorry, I'm on a bit of a rant now. This room is like my safe space. It's my calm. It's where I come to sit and look at all the pretty colours of wool and chat with my friends on Zoom. And at the moment, it's like the third hell in here. Vikings have ransacked the place. In fact, Vikings would have made less mess than I have. So, yeah. I'll tell you more about the sewing later. See, you have a rant, you end up needing a drink. I did my nails. They look quite neat, don't they? That's because they're nail wraps, not polish. Right, back on track. I'm going to start with drawing the winners for the free pattern giveaway. Last week I told you that I'd won 2 free patterns and that I was going to give you a free pattern code. What I didn't tell you was that the free pattern code I was going to give you was one of my own prizes. Anyway, Soxy Nana Alice told the designer, who is Dana Ray, I think, or Family Tree Knits, and she contacted me and said, don't do that. Would you like 5 free pattern codes to give away to winners and a discount code? And I went, well, I would, but are you sure? And she said, yes, I am. So let's not mess about. New phone. Let's not mess about and let's choose some winners. I've already done the first one. First winner is Debbie Stookie. Let's do the next one. Gillian Loomis Quinn. Hope I'm saying that correctly. The Fibre Sanctuary. 2 more to go. Raquel Atrinka. 1 more. Belinda's Baubles. So if the 5 of you would like to contact me, you can either contact me on email, which is mousesmakes@gmail.com, or you can contact me on Instagram, where I am amandajane.davies.58. that's all down below. And if you didn't win, please don't be upset, because I have a discount code for 50% off any of Dana Ray's patterns, and the discount code is Mouses Makes 50. I'm going to do this so I know to do it. I've hopefully put that on the screen for those of you that are watching on your TV, so you can't see down below, but I'll put everything down below as well. So congratulations to the winners. There are an awful lot of lovely patterns to choose from. I'm just going to warn you now. Right, that's that bit done. I have got notes. You're in a different position today. I don't know if you can tell. Because of the chaos, I can't even have my phone stand, camera stand, whatever you call it, in the normal place, because there's other stuff in it. Chaos. I'm having to check my notes because the chaos does me no good at all. Free patterns. Speaking of free patterns, I have found one. Joji Locatelli has put out a free pattern. You may have seen it already. Let me see. I took a picture. I think it's called Knit Free. I got it and I printed it out, but I only printed out the relevant pages and not the picture. So this is what it looks like. And it's free on Ravelry. I don't know if you can get it on her website or other places, but I thought I'd mention that as we're dealing with free patterns at the moment. Okay, haven't cast that on yet. I'm trying to be a good girl. Next item on the agenda, I have finally, this will be a great relief to you all I know, chosen my colours for the Stephen West Twists and Turns MKAL, which begins tomorrow. Here in my lovely bag from Raylene, which has become my designated Stephen West bag because it's just the right size. So I've chosen, look, who'd have guessed this was the colour I like? This is Cascade Heritage in dark plum, which is 5632. So I've got two of those for my main colour. For the secondary contrast colour, I have got orange. And this is, again, Cascade Heritage sock yarn, and this is 5646, which is quite aptly named Pumpkin. I've only got one of those, but I have ordered another one, and it is the same dye lot. Thank everybody's gods. And for my pop of colour, I've settled for this. Can we see it? The light's not actually bad today, which is a surprise because out there is the end of the world. It is a howling gale, the rain is going sideways, and it's one of those days where it's not actually going to get light all day. So I've got to do more sewing. I'm off on a tangent, I'm sorry. I've got to do more sewing this afternoon because I need to get this room tidy. I cannot live with it like this, which is a shame because it would be the ideal day for snuggling up on the sofa and watching Hocus Pocus 2, which is something that I told myself I was going to do on my birthday, which was yesterday, but I didn't because I thought maybe we could watch the film in the evening when Peter and Lauren came round and we all had a Chinese. But everybody had either been up early for work or had to get up early for work, so that didn't happen. So I was going to watch it this afternoon. But I'll see. If I manage to get all the sewing done, then I can. Right, tangent over. This is commercial sock yarn, obviously, and it is Truly Woolrich, colour 4249. And I don't know that I'm 100% happy with it. I think if you've read the sort of guidelines for the MKAL, it might be a bit too busy, but it was. I got everything out, I spread it out all over the bed, I put different colour combinations together, and this was the only one that I didn't look at and go, so this one it is. So I need to get that caked up today as well. I don't even know what time it is. I'm giving myself an awful long list of things to do today. What time is it? Oh, it's 10 to 11. I need to crack on really, don't I? Yeah, so this is my choice. If when it comes to it and I see the clues, I think, yeah, that's not really going to work, then my backup plan is to chicken out and just use some plain undyed yarn. Which is chickening out really, but I'm not even going to start going down the road of, or I could, because that's happening in my head already. We're not going there. This is the decision. We're sticking with it. Shut up, brain. Right. I have a finished object. This is all over the place today, much like everything in my craft room. I started this at Karma's the Stitches cast on party in April. It's called the Xiomara Wrap, and the pattern was a gift, so I really wanted to finish it, and it's hibernated and hibernated. And yesterday I was knitting it and I made the decision to finish it early, seam it up and make it into a cowl. It's quite a wide cowl, but it would have been quite a narrow wrap. Although, now I see it, now I've blocked it, it wouldn't have been that bad really, would it? Never mind, I can always unpick it and sew the other cake in. So yeah, the yarn I used, which wasn't the designated yarn, but I happened to have 2 cakes of it, was this. And it's Lollipop from Hobie. It's 20% wool, 80% acrylic. And the colourway, I can't remember the name, but it's 03. And clearly it's all the blues. So I've got a cake of that left. So should I regret my decision, I can go back and finish it. I am regretting it a little bit now. I was very certain yesterday, but now I've blocked it because I was thinking this isn't going to be wide enough to be a wrap. But then I don't think it's going to be long enough to go round me. So cowl it is. It'll be a really nice, warm, cosy cowl. Yeah, stick by your decision, Mandy. So, finished object. Quite proud of myself. There wasn't going to be one. There hasn't been a huge amount of knitting this week because there's been sewing. I have, however, cast on something new. I've not been that good. I got myself into a bit of a mood. I cut my hair for a start. It's not as drastic as it looks. It's still waist length, but I wanted to take about 6 inches off it. If you watched my live streamed vlog, I'm sorry I'm going over the same ground. I wanted to cut about 6 inches off it because I thought it's too long. It's a pain in the neck. I keep laying on it in bed, and this is probably too much information. But when I'm getting dressed and I've put on my deodorant, it keeps getting stuck under my arms. It's not pleasant. So I was going to take a fair amount off it, and then at the last minute I chickened out and I layered it, and so I've got shorter layers, but it is still pull it out straight. It is still waist length. Took a couple of inches off just to get rid of ends, but yeah. And I've been in that kind of a mood. I've been in a kind of a, I need to change something, but I don't know what mood. And I got bored with everything I was knitting. I've got lots of gift knitting to do, and I was just getting into a right funk with everything. I have since come up with a plan. I've abandoned my original rota and my supplementary autumn knits rota. I've abandoned both of those, and now I have a jar with coloured bits of paper in. Christmas gift knits are on green and red. Other whips are on yellow and orange. And every day I'm picking out a gift knit and an ordinary whip and working on those two things that day. That seems to be working. But before I came up with that, I cast on something new, which was naughty. I've got so many. Well, I think I'm going to abandon the What's This sweater, but we'll talk about that another time. So I've got 4 sweaters, not including the What's This sweater, on the needles, and I'm just bored. 3 of them I'm at the stage where I'm just knitting round and round stocking stitch, but I keep not knitting round and round stocking stitch on other projects rather than finishing the sweaters. Ewan's sweater is knit in pieces, and it's kind of, it's a 3x2 rib, I suppose you'd call it. I've made quite a bit of progress on that, but even so, I'm just not, I wasn't going to those. On the days when I should have been knitting them, I was finding something else to do, so I'd cast on something new, which is nigh on 100% round and round stocking stitch. Where is the logic? So this is the Owl Cowl by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And if I can find the bag that I've got it in, I will show you. I'm using up scraps. I was in a bit of a green mood, having just finished my shawl, Stephen West shawl. I was still in a green mood. So this is left over from my Outfoxed mitts. It's Cascade Heritage in Macadamia. This one was left over from my shawl. This one was a random mini. I think it might have been left over from my Advent last year, but I won't swear to that. And I've got various other, hang on, let me put the stitch stopper back on before Auntie Doris tells me off. Where are we? I've got these as well. That one you can't really tell. Oh, that's better. So they're all going in as well. Just sort of a green and, dare I say it, beige? I'm going to say natural rather than beige, because you know my feelings about beige. Yeah, so I just thought that'd be quite pretty. So I did cast that on, which was a bit naughty, but hey, never claimed to be saintly. Right, now I mentioned very briefly that it was my birthday yesterday, and I have some gifts to show you. Some of them I have bought for myself. I'm going to confess to that. But most of them were given to me by other people. So I've got to be a bit careful how I show you this. Hang on. The first gift I'm going to show you, this was from my son Ewan. I've had to cover up a word. This is a mug made by Alex from My Yarny Corner. And I saw it and I laughed because it is so me, and never was a truer word spoken. So Ewan, bless him, said, I'll get it for you for your birthday. So he bought me this and some of my favourite chocolates. Sorry I can't share them with you. Not that I would anyway, because I'm greedy. And then there were some gifts that I bought myself. So I saw that Elliot Craft House Magic was having a shop update, and I got these pins. And this one goes with my cushion. And up there, let me tip you back carefully. On my treasure wall, as you can see, Dave's done me a picture. So I don't know whether those pins are going on my pin pennant thing, or whether I'm going to put them on a bag. I've ordered some sew-on badges as well, because I've got a plain cream project bag from Hobbycraft that I think you're meant to use fabric paints on or whatever, but I've just been using it plain, and I might fancy that up a bit, but I'm going to see. I also bought myself, this is very exciting for me and probably not at all for you. As you know, I do make my own project bags, and I have a few now that have been given to me by friends. And for pretty much all the time that I have been sewing and knitting, which is quite a long time, I have looked for this type of fabric and not been able to find it. And a couple of weeks ago, I showed you I'd bought some yarn cozies from Amelia X Joy. And after I'd uploaded that podcast, I was going onto her shop to provide you with a link. And when I did that, I saw this. Now, some of you have been around for a very long time, will know that I am an unashamed Trekkie. And I do say Trekkie, not Trekker, because I am not precious about it. And I actually prefer Trekkie, which I know some people get a bit miffed about, but I like it. I think it's cosy. So I saw this and I just clicked on buy and I bought it. And I didn't think about the fact that I wasn't actually logged into Etsy. So, because I was very excited, I went to check its progress and it didn't appear in my purchases. And then I began to panic because I've had some very vivid dreams lately and I thought maybe I'd made it up. So I contacted Amelia, who very kindly told me that yes, I had bought it and I'd checked out as a guest and that she had posted it and it was on its way. And sure enough, I think the next day or the day after, it arrived. I shouldn't be left alone, really. So when I broke the news to Dave that I'd bought a project bag, he kind of went, I went, no, you don't understand. I'll show you. And then he relaxed a little bit. So I've personalised this as well. This was either a Christmas or a birthday present from Peter, I think, a few years ago. It's a Starfleet medical badge. And this is a Star Trek 50th anniversary badge that I got when I went to the Star Trek convention for its 50th anniversary, which was also a late 50th birthday present for me from Dave, the tickets to go. to said convention. And that had been residing on my cut-off, which is like a waistcoat that bikers wear over their jackets as an extra layer of protection and also to put stuff on. It's like, how can I describe it? It's like a scrapbook that you wear and walk around in to show things that you like and places you've been and rallies you've been to and clubs you belong to and that sort of thing. So that came off. That came off there and it went on here. And then I got my new phone case, and my new phone case came with this handle on, which, I mean, it's kind of, it's not quite right, but it's got all the right colours for Star Trek. So on it went. And you can see, actually, where is it? There. That's the Starfleet Federation badge up there on my treasure wall. And over there, you can't see him. He's a tiny Mr. Spock who keeps an eye on me. So, yeah. That was a present to myself. But I think that's allowed. I think you're allowed to buy your own presents. Anyway, I got more knitting related presents. My lovely friend Jane, and I'm picking this up very carefully because I don't want to have to fold it all up again, gave me some sheepy bunting, which is going to go up on that wall. I think it's long enough to go from one corner to the other, and that's a very plain wall, so it's going up over there. And it came with this little project bag, notions bag really, which I'm going to put it into. I've just had a thought. If I put it in there, it won't go sliding all over the place, will it? That was a good plan. Well done, Mandy. Okay. Thank you, Jane. Very, very pleased with that. And I also got, here it is, I got given this. This wasn't, strictly speaking, a birthday present. Somebody saw it and thought that I would like it, and they were right. So they bought it for me. It's a pattern. Now, doesn't that just scream me? So, I'm getting a croak again. Thank you very much. You know who you are. I don't know if you want me to say, but yes, it is printed out and it will be getting cast on when I finish the pair of Halloween socks that I'm just working on at the moment. These are next. And I've never done colourwork socks before, so that's going to be an adventure. My presents from Dave have not yet arrived, so I'll show them to you later. The reason they haven't arrived is that I didn't decide what I would like until 2 days before my birthday. So now Dave is sad that everyone will think he's a bad husband, but it's not his fault, it's mine. Peter and Lauren bought me something very exciting that I feel you lot may end up benefiting from. Let me show you. Oh my goodness. I can see many hours of making a mess in my not too distant future. I've got a few things to get before I can do it. I have got a saucepan. Dave did buy me a saucepan for my birthday because he knew I was getting this. So he bought me a saucepan because you have to use something separate to what you cook food in. And because they didn't know if I would have anything that I could use it with, foolish children, of course I have, they bought me this. And I don't actually have anything like this. This is, what is it? It just says natural net superwash wool, so I don't know what sort of wool it is, but I can see that it's high twist and it's got the neps in. And they said, oh, we bought you that, we thought you could make some socks. this isn't going to be socks. This is probably going to be a hat. Because I'll wear socks out. Because I do wear my hand-dyed socks every day. So this is going to be a hat which will last considerably longer. And also, I won't have to keep taking my shoe off to go, look at this, I dyed it myself. It was a present from Peter and Lauren. Which could become wearing. If I've just got it on my head, I can go. Do you follow my thought processes there? So, as soon as I've got everything gathered together that I need, the adventure will begin. Ewan said to me, are you going to dye yarn and have an Etsy shop? No, I am not. The reason he asked that is that's how Alex from My Yarny Corner started. Her son bought her a similar kit for Mother's Day, I think. She started tinkering about with it, and now she is, as you know, My Yarny Corner. I have no aspirations in that direction. I am just going to dye for myself and possibly for prizes for you guys. And yeah, I won't be selling anything. I doubt myself too much. And I'm about to show you why I doubt myself too much. As you may remember, I'm currently running an October make-along. And I've been promising to make you prizes. And I have been making you prizes. I'll just show you one. Hang on. This isn't quite finished. But I've made 2 bags like this. I just need to sew the corners so that it stands up a bit better. And put a popper in the middle. So there's going to be 2 of these, slightly different, because you know nothing I make is ever exactly the same. And there's another 2 big bags coming in a different fabric, in this fabric, in fact, with this lovely autumny coloured lining. But there was going to be this sock bag as well. Now there's not going to be this sock bag because I measured it extremely carefully. Very, very carefully. Let me see if you can see what's gone horribly wrong. They don't always match up exactly. They don't on this one. They're off a tiny bit. I can live with that. This I cannot live with. And I am too ashamed to send this out as a prize, especially since the other side is different. So it's not only wonky, but it's wonky to different degrees. I'm going to have a drink. I wish there was alcohol in it. So you won't be getting this one, I'm afraid. Which is a shame, because I thought it was really pretty. Never mind. Oh, and the other thing was, I tried to put a division in it. I thought I'll make it a divided bag. Let me turn it inside out. And I managed to catch it when I sewed up one side, but not the other. So by now, I'd been sewing for several hours, and I'm not going to say I had a tantrum. It wasn't exactly a tantrum. It was a bad mood. So I decided, right, this isn't working. This was before I saw the outside. I'm going to cut it out. So I cut it out, and in cutting it out, I've managed to nick the lining fabric as well and make a hole. So this bag is cursed, and yeah, I'm not going to give it to you, in case it brings the bad juju with it. Right, so having got to talking about the make along, I didn't want to do it at the beginning because if you don't want to hear about it, you can just finish now. It finishes on the 31st of October at midnight British Summer Time, and I will draw the prizes probably the following week on the podcast. You can enter pretty much anything so long as it's got an October-y, autumn-y, Halloween-y feel to it. So the colourway you've used, the name of the pattern, if you can find some link. I'm trying to think of something. Somebody, for example, Nancy, is entering a sweater that's got aliens abducting cows on it. Well, that's kind of science fiction-y, horror filmy, so that counts. Yeah. To be honest, the rules are pretty loosey-goosey. Unless you're knitting something in pale pink and green and it's called Spring Tulips, you know, that might be where I draw the line. But yeah, it's for fun really, and it's just because I had a sock along last year. I didn't want to do that again this year because not everybody knits socks, and I just wanted everybody to be able to join in with whatever they're knitting really. And let's face it, this time of year I think most of us are knitting something that falls into kind of an autumny, fally, October-y, Halloween-y, somewhere along the line. So yeah, so there are two ways to enter. You can enter on Instagram using the hashtag, and I told you this wrong last time, so the hashtag is, I'm reading it so I don't get it wrong again, Mouse's October Mal 2022 FO for your finished objects. That's how you get your entry in. You can use the hashtag Mouses Makes October Mal if you just want to show what you're making, but your entry goes into the FO thread. If I'm not following you, I will not see your hashtag. So if I'm not following you and you want me to see that, Instagram message me and I'll either follow you if you'd like me to, or you can send it to me that way. The other way to enter is on Ravelry. There is a thread for finished objects and there is a chat thread. Again, your entry will only go into the finished object thread. I've also opened a thread for the Stephen West MKAL that starts tomorrow. That's just a chat, just so that we can knit along to that together. It's not, there's no prize or anything. It's just for anyone who's knitting it on their own so that they can have a bit of community around the MKAL. While I'm on the subject of that, I've started doing Vlogtober live streaming on a Saturday afternoon, and I started it last Saturday, which was the 1st of October, and it came about somehow. I want to knit a Starflake shawl by Stephen West, and quite a few people who were on said they wanted to as well, and quite a few people commented on it after it had gone up. After the live, it goes up on YouTube so you can watch it. And so we're going to have, starting in January, probably January the 1st, an unofficial Starflake knit along. I think it was an MKAL in 2019. But yeah, there's quite a few of us that would like to knit it, so we might as well all knit it together, mightn't we? So that's that coming up, if that's something that you're interested in. Seems very early to be talking about things we're going to do next year, but there is only well, if you count October, less than 3 months of this year left. We are more than 3/4 of the way through it, so that's a bit scary. Right, I think that's everything that I wanted to waffle on at you today. There hasn't been a huge amount of knitting content, for which I apologise, but Oh my God, the sewing takes so long. So, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And fight my way through this mountain of chaos so that I can finish the sewing and finish the chaos. So I'll see some of you on Saturday afternoon, 2 PM BST, YouTube live stream, just chatting about the week and doing a bit of knitting together. And then the rest of you I will see next Wednesday. No, I always say that, but it's weird to say you'll see me. I'll be back next Wednesday, where I'll hopefully have done a little bit more knitting and will have finished all the sewing that I need to do. So I will see you next Wednesday, and until then, happy knitting. Bye guys.